You will not grow if you can't say no.
That was more or less what I was going to say. And I was like, I can't say that.
Perfect. It's perfect. It's true.
Yeah. I think that's actually one of the things I would stress the most for like the beginners. Learn to say no faster than we did.
Yeah.
And you'll grow faster.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Humble Hustle Podcast. We are your hosts, Nick and Kayla.
Hello, hello.
We are batch recording a bunch of videos today, but we are halfway through, doing good. Last time we did this, I fell asleep halfway through. So at least we're not at that point yet.
Yep, not yet. We're still cruising here.
All right. So what is today's topic?
So today we're going to talk about some underrated skills that have nothing to do with camera skills. So nothing technical, but anything else that has to do with running a business that are things that we think you really need in order to be successful as an entrepreneur and a business owner. So we're going to
things we've learned.
Yeah, things we've learned over time. Just things that we feel like everyone should have, that not every, creative or skilled technically person has, but things that we think are just very important to have in addition to, some of those technical skills that you can build over time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've had multiple episodes recently that have covered this. We'll keep this one brief, but communication. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an obvious one, but it's obvious for a reason. You gotta be good at talking to people. And like this business is all about talking to people and selling to people.
Mm-hmm. Building relationships too, yeah.
So many relationships. So you need to figure out, if you're not great at communicating now, you got to learn. Yep.
And it can be nerve-wracking. And like we kind of said in a previous episode, just talking to people like they're human beings. Obviously, you have a professional relationship, but there are a lot of ways that you can also have fun with talking to people. And we have a really cool job. Like, we're not sitting at a desk all day long. We're able to go out and interact with people. We're traveling, we're meeting all sorts of different people from all walks of life. And so it's a really unique opportunity to build personal relationships too. Like, I know that I am very close with some of my clients because of the working relationship that we've had. Communication is huge, and just like treating people like people is really big. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing that I think is really important in terms of emotional skills is emotional intelligence. And this is kind of like a really wide range. Like, this can mean a lot of things, but I am an empath through and through. I feel things very deeply. If someone I know is going through something like a hard time, I feel like my heart like aches for them. If someone I know just had like a really big win, like I genuinely get so excited for them. So emotional intelligence is something that comes relatively easy for me. And just being able to try to like put yourself in the client's shoes. And when you're having these conversations with them about what they're looking for and what their goals are, really just trying to be able to put yourself in their position and think like, okay, what do they need from me? Like, what is the message we are trying to send with this content we are creating for them? What is the deeper meaning behind it? Because you can hit the surface level stuff all day long, but dig deeper and really try to understand what it is that they're looking for, asking the right questions, being a good listener to them. Those are some things that I've learned are really helpful with this job.
Yeah, no, I think going along with that, it's like understanding the client's side of things from like their stress as well, like understanding the stress that they're feeling. So for example, some of the things I've done is like product in the product world with like maybe a new launch of a product is going to come out soon. Obviously, my client is stressed over the launch of this product and they still need the content from me to do it. But there's obviously so many other things that they're worrying about outside of the video or photo I'm giving them. Like launching a product to the world is a big deal and there's a lot going on. So even though like, I'm not saying this happened, but like this could easily happen. Maybe the client is, you know, being harder on me or asking for certain things, making my life harder, maybe unintentionally, but like because of the stress they're under due to this big launch. From the surface level, I could just look at that and be like, man, this client sucks right now. Like they're making my life miserable. But you got to look deeper and understand like, okay, I understand why they're asking for this a certain way. The launch needs it to be this way and like it needs it by this certain time. So like once you fully get a grasp of what's actually happening, at least you can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, like maybe their boss is putting a ton of pressure on them
Right.
and they have hard deadlines they have to meet. Yeah, that's a really good point. Just understanding that, you know, we might not see the behind the scenes of what they're going through, but that doesn't mean that they're just being an asshole for no reason.
Yeah, because we say that about ourselves all the time. And so the same has to be true the other way.
Yeah. Yep, that's a great point. Another thing, the ability to say no. We touched on this recently, but just being able to take each situation as its own kind of entity and looking at it in terms of like, okay, what is the return on investment for me? Is this going to be a good relationship both ways? And if it's not the right fit, just having the ability to say no is really important too. And that was really hard for me to learn. And I still struggle with that, to be honest.
It is one of the harder things to like stop or start doing because especially for the people that are just starting, they just want all the money they can get. So they're just going to say yes to everything.
Yep, we've been there.
But you have to start saying no because you will not grow if you... I was going to say something, but it was too cheesy because it rhymed too much.
Oh my God, no, do it. Say it.
Myself
Say it.
because I didn't want to be cheesy.
Spit bars.
Honestly, now I forget.
No, man. You will not grow if you can't say no.
That was more or less what I was going to say. And I was like, I can't say that.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's true.
Yeah. I think that's actually one of the things I would stress the most for like the beginners. Learn to say no faster than we did.
Yeah.
And you'll grow faster.
Yeah. And it just saves you headaches. Like there have been plenty of times, especially in the beginning when I was just starting, where I'm like, why did I agree to this? Why did I, agree to give a discount when this person's asking for like basically unlimited revisions or, just like kind of being a difficult person to deal with in general. There have been plenty of times where I regret saying yes. So just really pay attention to like notice we talked about red flags a while ago, like really get good at picking up on those red flags.
Yeah, I mean, you'll experience that instant regret and it's not a good feeling.
No, it is not.
I think it all kind of stems back to confidence, like having the confidence in yourself to know what you're worth, know that this is the time to put your foot down, and also being confident that saying no to this will open doors for other better things down the road.
Yep.
And so simply being confident is kind of one of the other things that you need to learn.
Yep, definitely.
Which is hard to teach. Like, I've been asked that too, and I honestly don't know if I have a good answer. Like, how can you teach someone to be more confident? I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know. I think it just comes with experience, honestly, and making mistakes, learning from them, paying attention to the successes.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness is huge, yeah. And, making mental notes or physical notes, like writing things down about an experience you had with a client to refer back to, whether it was a positive or a negative experience, and just being able to say, oh yeah, like I remember that went really well. Like I want to repeat this process and do it again.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I guess some things I had were like project management, I guess you can call it. So like, yes, it's not the camera stuff, but there's so many other things in terms of like planning for these creative projects and the shoots. You might think, oh, I could just, email back and forth, say like, be here this time, done, got it. That is not how it works.
Yep.
Like it might work once, but I promise you, once your things get more complicated and there's more moving parts, simply doing a quick email is not going to cut it.
Nope.
You need to figure out how to pre-produce properly, work timelines, scheduling. With more people involved, the harder scheduling is going to be. So learning how to organize yourself like digitally and with file management and stuff like that is key.
Yep. That's a really big one, and something that I was not good at in the beginning. And the less that you prepare on the front end before the production, the more disorganized that you are during and after in editing. So the more work you do up front, the easier and smoother it is, honestly. And it's worth putting in those extra hours.
Yeah, no,
Trust
we
us.
had a client who literally came to us because the previous person they worked with didn't really do much planning, didn't really help them out in the planning process. And I would say that's one of our strengths. So we, did our normal thing. We helped them. We pre-produced. We knew exactly what to do, had video scripts ready. We went in, shot, and our client was shocked at how fast we were done. We were like, wow, we finished already? And I'm like, yeah, this is how fast it should have gone.
Exactly.
And he's like,
yeah.
wow, I have all day to still do stuff. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, I almost like kind of love, not for the client, obviously this is terrible for the client, but I kind of love working with a client who has had a bad experience with a photographer or a videographer before, because you get to show them what it's supposed to feel like
Right.
and how the process is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Like I experienced this recently with a client. I just did headshots for their new employees. There was like 50 new employees over the last year. And they had told me that the photographer they used in, past years, they would only take like one picture of every person and like
That's
move them
risky.
on. And I'm like, Jesus, that's like totally not how I do things. Like I give people options. I make sure that I have them use a variety of poses. Like you want people to feel confident when they're having their headshot displayed on the website or LinkedIn or anything. Like
Even like our
so-
packaging shoot we did together. Like,
Yes.
we were way better than the previous people.
Exactly.
And they told us that.
Yeah. So making sure that if this client did have a bad experience before, just make it that much better for them. That's huge. Yeah. It's easier to make them happy too, which is nice.
Yeah.
It really is. If
So
we're
true.
being honest.
Very true. Very
Yeah.
true.
The other thing that I think is really important that I'm terrible at is patience. I'm a very impatient person in general, in life, in business. So this is something that I have really had to work on internally. And not everything is going to go at the pace that you want it to go. And just,
Like I said, when you say like you're impatient and like in our creative world, what exactly, can you give examples? Like what exactly are you referring to?
yeah, sometimes like you'll have a client reach out to you and they ask you about a project and then it just kind of sits there and they don't necessarily like take the steps to move things along as quick as you want, or they're kind of in a decision-making process where they're like, oh, we could go this route or we could go this route, and they're not exactly sure what direction they want to go with it. And you can guide them as much as you want, but until they kind of decide, and a lot of the times, the people that you're working with aren't necessarily like the big decision makers. So they have to bring it to their bosses and say, okay, like this is what we want. Also, a recent example, I had a client reach out to me about doing some reels, and their boss has recently taken a leave of absence. So we're kind of at a standstill, and we decided like we're going to revisit in the new year once they're back and like kind of ready to move forward. So patience with that is key.
It's like with mine and the maternity leave.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, like it's true.
It makes things harder. But
Yeah.
you gotta be patient.
Yeah, so you had a client who you were working with, you had a really good relationship with them, and then they went on maternity leave. So there's now a new person in, and
Yeah.
not exactly like the same vibe.
Not the same vibe at all.
Yeah. So that's tough.
But I mean, we're trudging through. But
Yeah.
man, they're testing my patience.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to, kind of tread that line of keeping the pressure on, but not being too pushy. And that's a really
Exactly.
thin line to kind of like walk on.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yes.
Patience, but persistence.
I feel like I'm very persistent.
Yeah.
Like
I have a tendency to let things sit if I don't get an immediate response. I could use a little bit more persistence.
I feel like I'm really good at following up.
Yeah, the
like-
follow-up is huge. Underrated.
I mean, here, this could be another one. Like, it was kind of stupid and cheesy, but like years ago back in like the real estate days when I used to do that all the time, this one realtor would literally say like, "Oh, fortune's in the follow up," kind of like joking around, but like in all seriousness, it is. Like I follow up probably more than the average person, and I don't care if I'm like annoying the person. Like I need an answer, or I want an answer now.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I'm not gonna wait like 2 weeks.
Right. I do that well with wedding clients. When I get an inquiry for a wedding, I track it in a spreadsheet. I really need to start doing that with other commercial clients because it's really helpful. Because then you can make a note of like, okay, they responded to me on this date. I responded to them on this date. And then this is when I need to follow up and like set reminders for yourself of when you're supposed to be following up.
I don't know. The more clients I'm getting, I should probably track it more. As of right now, it's all in my head.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I can manage because I check my email so often.
Right.
But I usually like just give it a couple days and then it's like, okay, time to follow up. And if I'm like a couple follow-ups in, I might give it like a week and then like a week in between my follow-ups, but I will keep following up.
Yeah. Yep. I hate getting ghosted. It's the worst.
And then finally I'm like, all right, this is the last one. If they don't answer this one, I'm done.
Giving up. Yeah, knowing when to call it quits is also kind of important too.
Yeah, I'm not going to literally email them forever.
Yeah.
I will stop eventually.
But it's going to take a while.
Yeah, I'm not going to give up easily.
Good. Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
So yeah, that's one. But what I was actually going to say was more on sales. Like sales psychology, I guess. Like I have your understanding what clients actually care about. So, you could be as creative as you want to be or the best editor ever and make the coolest video, coolest looking video. But if that's not what your client actually needs or wants, it doesn't matter. Like, sure, to an extent, they care how it looks. It needs to look good. But your version of looking good and their version of looking good are completely different things. So to you, it might be like the best video you ever made. The client might hate it.
Yep.
Also, it might not be optimal for whatever results they're looking for.
Yeah.
Like it could be like a cool video that has all these cool transitions or like, oh, I did this really cool thing here with this camera shot. If it's not going to get the results that the client needs from this piece of marketing, it really doesn't matter what it looks like.
And then it's just going to be a headache for you after. If it doesn't achieve the goal and doesn't match their vision, they're going to be like, this isn't exactly what we were looking for. So you have to understand what the mission is beforehand, before you do
The goal is not to make the best looking video or the best or the coolest photo. That is an amateur's mindset.
Yep.
That is never the goal. It is always a nice plus to have it look amazing, obviously, but you need to know what the client needs.
Yep.
That's the goal.
Yep. And there might be times when the client thinks that they need one thing, but as you dig deeper and ask more questions, you're like, actually, I think you would benefit from this. Like, what do you think about this? That happened to me with a client fairly recently. We were going to do like kind of a brand video, but then as I was asking more questions, I discovered that they had a lot of trouble retaining employees. So I was like, we should make a video tailored towards recruiting good quality employees for you guys that will stick around and will, represent the business the way that you want it to be represented. And they were like, oh my God, that's a great idea. So that's another thing that might happen when you're kind of in those initial discovery calls. They might not always know exactly what's best because it is hard to step outside of your own organization and look at it from an outsider's perspective and say, like what do we need? It could look very different. So that's when we come in and we bring a unique perspective coming from the outside and like seeing it from a different lens.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think my last one was like stress management. And you had made a good point off the mic of, there's a lot of stress of not knowing where your income is going to come from and how much.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to like talk a little bit more about that, but it is like, it's very stressful not knowing, like this is a very inconsistent industry. You could have a killer month one month and then the next month is crickets. And that's really scary.
Yeah, no, I feel like in reality, like, I guess this is transparency here. It's like the last like 2 years, were in my head, like, these like building years, but they were definitely slower than I wanted them to be and anticipated them being. But I mean, that's just the reality. That's how it goes. Did I ever give up? No. And I went into it knowing that it was not going to be easy to, get this off the ground instantly. And even then, with that mindset going into it, it was still even slower than I anticipated. That's how like slowly I was crawling at one point. Yeah. But now, thank God, like fast forward to now, I'm in a way better position where leads are just coming to me.
Yep.
So it's like totally 180 from like 2 years ago. And I feel like I can optimistically look into 2026 now and feel like, okay, it's not going to be like a super slow building period like the last 2 years. This is like double down on what is working right now and we will like explode.
Yep.
And I like kind of thought that even last year and it just didn't work out. But it's like the feeling I have now is even way different than I did at this point last year. I feel like the success is like really coming. Whereas last year it was more like a hope, I guess. This is less hopeful, more like tangible, like actually happening. So yeah, it's hard to get through those times, but mental toughness, confidence, all play a factor. And just like, for me personally, a little bit of stubbornness. Like I will never give up. So it's like, I will do whatever it takes to keep it going.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it got me here and now we're in a way better spot. Yep. So we're good now.
And it does take time. So give yourself a little bit of grace too. Like if you know in your heart and in your soul that you are doing absolutely everything you can to make it work, it's going to work out. If you keep working hard, putting in that effort, and you double down, like you said, on the things that are going well, it's going to work out. It just takes time. So give yourself some grace. That's another really big key.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yep. You need to give yourself some grace. You're doing great.
No, yeah. It was like, I remember going into 2025, I was so optimistic. I was like, okay, yeah. Like, I feel like I know what I'm doing now. Like, that was back when the product stuff was kind of, I was just figuring out how to make that work. I didn't really get my first big product things until right at the beginning of 2025. And then like earlier on, it was like good, got some pretty good stuff. And then it slowed to a crawl and I made it through, but now we're on to different things.
Yep. And again, adaptability. You've pivoted, you've evolved.
Yeah, that helped too.
And that's key. You have to keep evolving.
Because if you're doing the same, like what the definition of insanity, like doing the same thing over and over again
and expecting different results.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's very true. Got to
so
change.
I didn't go insane.
We were on the cusp, but we didn't lose our minds completely.
Exactly.
Yep.
I used to tell, even back a year ago, I told Luke, like, we're on the cusp of greatness.
Yep.
You just saying that reminded me of that. And I would always kind of joke around by saying that, but I always meant it. I was like, I truly believe we are. And now that things are going, he's finally like on board. It's like, all right, I think we actually are like falling over that cusp into the greatness.
Yep. I love that. I love it. It just takes time. That's all. Consistency, effort, and time.
And it took me like a year and a half, almost 2 years. It could take others 2 months. It could take them 10 years.
Yep. There's no set timeline. Everybody's different.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Cool.
Vulnerable, but
yeah, you gotta be
I'm
vulnerable.
transparent.
Yeah. Yep. That's our goal. We just like want to keep it real, and it's not all rainbows and butterflies. That's for damn sure.
No, like literally, I joked and said, the time I was laying on the floor thinking this is the end. It literally felt like that.
Yeah. Yep.
That was like one of the worst days of the career.
Oh.
It was like, this is the end. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But we're fine now.
Yep. We're good. You kept pushing through. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stubborn ass.
Honestly, I think the stubbornness has like helped. Mm-hmm. Like my stubbornness and my perfectionism are two negative traits that have benefited me.
Yeah. You turn them into positives.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You have to try to keep a positive mindset even in like the most dark times.
Having Luke on now for the last like year, I'm not obviously like he's his own person, but like in a way I feel responsible for him. So it's like I need to maintain my optimism for his sake. Because if he sees that I'm like laying on the floor ending it all, then he will not feel optimistic or like motivated.
Right.
So I need to be like, I guess, you know, a good leader in that sense and lead by example, maintain the optimism, motivation, and confidence that things are going to work.
That's such a great point. At the company I worked with before this, I was kind of like brought into the leadership team a little bit, and there were times where they were very like doom and gloom. Like, we are not doing well. This is not good.
Yeah, that's
and
not
you should
how,
never show that to your employees.
not how it should be run. No.
Ever. No. Nope. Just gotta you have your own private mental breakdowns.
Exactly. Cry on your own time.
Yeah. Cry on your own.
In private.
Exactly. All right. On that note, on that positive note.
We are going to end it there and go get lunch.
Yep. I'm starving. But thank you for listening and watching. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe and like the video. Leave us a comment. And if you're on Spotify, please rate us 5 stars and leave a comment there as well. And let us know what you want to see in future episodes. So thank you so much.
Please let us know what you want to see because it is getting a little difficult to come up with ideas.
Yeah, we're doing a new episode every week. So send in your topics that you want us to cover and we will talk about it. All right.
Bye.
Bye.